Okay, today we're joined by Dara from Worksfire, and she's here to discuss their new project management and social collaboration software. Hi Dara, firstly thanks for joining us today.
Dara, thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Okay, would you like to start by just giving us a brief overview of what Worksfire is?
Yes, so Worksfire is a project and task management tool with collaboration involved. The main premise behind Worksfire was to empower teams to work better together through business automation. One of the things that sets us aside from all the hundreds of project management and task management tools out there is our public portal that we do have. We found that a lot of things that were lacking in businesses that we've had in the past and whatnot is being able to bring in people that didn't belong in the company to our projects that were crucial to actually complete the project. For example, a customer. There's so much that a customer has to do with a business's project that they play just as an integral part in completing the project as the employees do of the business. So that's why Worksfire was born, and that's what really sets us aside from any of the competition that's out there today.
Okay, I mean, you do have some other features too, but essentially this is the main differentiator. Okay, so let's start by going through the public portal service then.
Okay, so companies have the ability to either embed the public portal in their website, just post a link to it, or they can just use this as more of an interdepartmental feature. Where each department has its own team that coincide and have their own processes. But either way, this is what's viewable to the public. So regardless of if you have a password to get in or you're part of the organization, you still have access to be able to see or view projects or different businesses, processes, or services that they offer.
Sure.
So if I'm a client here and I come to the website and I see, okay, well, here's CrowdBridge. Great. This is what they have to offer. Awesome. I want to start, I want to see a little bit more. I want to actually get started on this project. So what I would do is I would go ahead and register.
Is this essentially registering with the web service then?
Yes, this is registering with the web service, but it could also act as a lead as well to the company.
Okay, but these details would be registered on the site as well, obviously, as well as connecting to the company that is obviously holding the Worksfire account.
Yes. Sorry, I thought I turned off my password saver.
No problem.
So great. So now that I've initiated the project, it drops me right into an automated process that was preset by the company that has created the portal.
Okay.
So here I would be able to see the list of all the anything that I have to do that's involved in the project. If I click on tasks. Now I have a full view of everything that's involved within the project. But not just that, everybody that's also involved in the project as well. Because as with any project and certain processes within any business, they're repeated processes.
Yes.
It's usually the same people that are involved and responsible for the same tasks in every repeated process that they do. That's why we all have jobs. So anytime a project is created, whether it be from a customer or another department, through that portal there, all the appropriate people are tied to the appropriate tasks, and they all get alerted, letting them know that, hey, you have a new project that started, and this is your responsibility within the project.
So a list of tasks within the project would appear to them?
Exactly.
Okay.
So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to log out. Since I'm just a user on the system, there's not as many features that I have the ability to access because I'm just considered a guest.
Right.
Where I'm just responsible. Basically, the only thing I would be able to do would be close out my task. If I try to close out any of these other people's tasks that I'm not associated with, it's not going to work. However, I mean, I can view to see what's going on in it and where they are in the process. So me as a customer, I get the added benefit of knowing exactly where I am in the process, or, you know, at all times, just by logging in. No longer am I going to have to call in to customer service, sit on the phone for a half hour to 45 minutes just to find out where I'm at. And half the time, most of the people don't even know what's going on in the process, because that's just the way businesses work nowadays.
Okay, so you're going to log into an account with some kind of administrative privileges,
Yes.
right?
Yes. So now I'm going to log into my account. All right, so now that I've started those projects, it says now, okay, well, I've been added to a new project. Great. So let me go ahead and click on that project and see what's going on there. So as you can see before, when I was Sue Jones, it just had Sue Jones information there. And then now it's got all the information that's inside of there. But as you can see off to the left, now that obviously there's a ton of different projects that I've got that I'm working on. These are all the different projects, the statuses within each project, so I can see how far they are complete, if they've been completed. Click on them, find out who's exactly involved in those projects, and what the statuses are on them.
So each user essentially has a profile?
Yes, each user has their own profile. You can view it here. It's very simple, very basic. You can actually see all the connections that you have as well. And then you can sit and chat with people also.
Oh, right. That's the live chat feature.
So we do have the live chat feature as well. You can sort through everybody that's in your contacts list to have everybody open here. I guess Brian's the only one that's online at the moment.
Okay, so it has a status too, and then you can just send an instant message.
Exactly.
Okay, so in relation to the public portal, guests guests could be customers or even just temp employees or whatever.
Exactly.
Is all of the functionality available to the guest user, as in you can live chat with customers and?
Yes, well, for the users, for the guests, they do have the functionality that they can live chat with any of the employees within the organization that is a part of the project that they're working on.
Right.
So whereas me as an employee or an admin of the system, I have the ability to chat with anybody within the organization, but guests are only limited to who they're directly working with.
Right. Okay. So let's take a look at the task management overview.
There. There we go. So here's a list of all the tasks that I have open currently within all the projects that are assigned to me or that I'm participating in.
Sure.
Over here, you'll see any subtasks that are involved within that as well. And then also, if there's somebody that was created, for example, Patrick has created a task for me to develop an email list for his LinkedIn list. So I know that I have a new task there. If there's any subtasks within there, I can go ahead and see there. Now, if I need help with this task for whatever reason, if I need the help of somebody else, now I have the ability to bring in other people as well.
Okay. So you invite them to become a co-collaborator on the task or subtask.
Exactly. So then now we can collaborate together on that specific task in order for me to fulfill what I need to do for the company or a specific project that it's related to, if it's related to a project.
So tasks are completed when all the the status of a task is based on how many subtasks are completed, and then obviously would the status of the task become complete when all the subtasks are complete?
That's correct.
Right.
That's correct. Now you can still, however, complete if there's a task that has 20 different subtasks that you might be able to complete right away. You don't have to go and check off 20 subtasks in order to close the task. If you close the task out, it'll automatically close out every subtask there underneath.
Right.
Which is a little nice because this system that we worked in before Worksfire was born, we had to have a project management system too. We had to actually go in and manually close out every single subtask before we could close out a task. And sometimes it was more work than it needed to be.
Sure. What about documents? How does Worksfire deal with the documents that are needed within tasks or subtasks?
Sure. So, for example, the blog. I might need here. I might need to add in some, documents in order to, for Aziz to know what he needs to do for this specific thing. So I can just go here, upload a specific thing. I can drag and drop. And it just uploads the file directly to the task. Now, Aziz or any of the other participants within this task are going to get alerted, letting them know that they do have a new document to review for the specific task. And then now, as far as within projects, I'll just go to sales project here. Same thing here within documents. Just drag and drop. Let's see if I can just drag something over here. And there you go. So now everybody that's involved within my sales project, and you can see the participants here, all these people are going to be alerted, letting them know that they have a new document to review for that specific project.
Okay.
Nice thing is too with our the mobile version, if people are out and about and they need to take specific pictures for a job or a project, they can take the picture directly through Worksfire and upload it right through the project.
Oh,
so they don't have to take the picture, save it to their phone, and then upload it. It can just be done directly.
Oh, via the Worksfire app.
Exactly.
They will just add a photo, choose from original or take a new one.
Yep, exactly.
Well, yeah, that's
a really
right.
Nice feature, I think.
It's multi device capable, isn't it?
Yes, it's completely responsive, so it is viewable and usable on any device, any operating system, as well as any browser.
That's great. Okay, so what about we've talked about, that's the dashboard. This is the overall.
This is the overall dashboard.
Overview of the project. And then you've got a list of tasks, you've got a list of participants, and any documents that have been added to each task or subtask. What about the events tab? What can you do with that?
The events tab are pretty much milestones. So at this moment, say, for example, you have you want your website complete by a specific date, or maybe there's an installer that needs to go out as part of the project. This is more specified as far as event, and you can set a start date and an end date and a location as to where the event's going to hold place for that specific project.
Right, yes. And then obviously everyone who was a participant would have access to this milestone list.
Exactly. Yep, exactly. So
okay.
Anybody that's participating within this project would have access to this event.
Okay, and what about, I guess, does everybody who's involved in this system need to be some kind of collaborator? Is there any way of managing contacts?
There is a way of managing contacts. So if I were to go to my administration panel, I can go ahead and I can manage all my employees. I can just add in different employees. I can create and make them an admin. Now, if they're an admin, they can just have kind of overview rights. So they don't necessarily even need to be participating in anything, but they would still have visibility into everything.
Right. What kind of?
But whereas if you're an employee, then you do have to actually be participating in projects in order to have any kind of visibility into anything. It's a tiered level.
How many levels of access are there? I mean, obviously there'd be admin. Is there a sub-admin where they only? Well, I guess that it would all be granted via the project task and subtask hierarchy.
Yeah, so there's admin, then there's employee status, and then there's guest status.
Right.
So the employee status only gives you there's not as many rights or insights as the admin does on the employee level. And then the guest level is just that. They're just a guest in your organization working on the specific things that they're assigned. They don't have the ability to add in external people. They don't have the ability to create tasks. They don't have the ability to message anybody outside of their project scope, which would be anybody involved in their project. And then the next tier up would be employees. So they would have access, obviously, to all the other employees
Sure.
and administrators of the system as the organization, as well as full insight into all the projects that they're associated with.
So, the public portal strength is obviously putting a widget on your website and having people click in and start a process without even contacting you, so to speak. What can they actually achieve through the system with only guest rights? Can they create tasks, or are they literally, completing tasks and ticking them off?
They're completing tasks and ticking them off. They cannot create tasks within projects that are specific to an organization.
Right.
Otherwise, somebody might come in on Monday morning and have a set of off-the-wall tasks that they're supposed to complete, and they don't know where they came from.
Right.
So it's very limited as to what the guests can specifically do. They're just basically they have to follow the guidelines and what the organization has set up for them to do within their specific project.
Right.
Now they can go and create additional projects from additional services that are offered. So if they already have a project started with you, say CrowdBridge project, but then now they really liked working with you, they want to come back to your system, and now they want to do logo design.
Right.
So they can come here and they can, take a look at it, and they can just go ahead and start it as well.
Okay. And you can obviously brand these workspaces, can't you, for your specific organization?
Yes, every workspace is completely branded to the organization. So as you see Worksfire up here, this is obviously our branded workspace because that's who we are, and this is our little mascot guy in the background. But take you to a couple different workspaces that we have, just their public portals, so you can see the different, differentiating things that they have between them. So here is Abbott Vascular. Let's see here. We've got Apollo. Solar Company. Real estate. So as you can see, it's completely branded differently, each and every portal that we're coming across, obviously based on who the organization is.
Sure. Obviously, like a different skin, you can change the colors, add a logo, put a kind of a background image, and it's all automated how it's going to look.
Yeah, exactly. So it's, again, completely branded. We don't want to have to go and rebrand everybody to Worksfire when they've already spent so much time and money branding themselves as a company that they should be able to sustain that branding across the board and everything that they use. So this is a completely branded workspace. So that way anybody that's coming to their website will still feel as if they're at their website if they choose to link this in or even link it out to the portal. And even if they just use it even more interdepartmental, where you're not even really inviting in any external guests, everybody still knows that they're in the right spot working together in the company that they're supposed to be in.
Yes, of course. This is literally a subdomain of the Worksfire, and then you can brand it your way. So is there any integration of these little project cards? Is there a widget at this time to just insert those in an HTML page, or would there literally be a link that would come onto this subdomain and people would know that?
The way that most of our people are doing it is they're on their services tab on their website. They're replacing that page with this page,
right?
And they've embedded the page. The site is completely responsive, so even if they embed it into a specific section, you can see it just kind of grows with it.
Right.
So it's it's dependent on what each company wants to do. We don't have a specific way that they have to do it in order for the system to work, which gives a lot of flexibility into each company being able to choose how they want to run it.
Sure. Well, it looks like you guys have really thought about the presentation, and obviously being multi-device, the flexibility.
Yes.
Offering the
we
branded.
Want to make sure that anybody can work anywhere at any time.
Okay.
We're in a different age now where you're not bound to a desk and a computer.
Exactly. So there seems to be a lot of positive points to this software. What about the pricing system? How does that work?
Sure, the pricing is based on employee. So there's no limit to the amount of guests that a company can bring into the system. Guests meaning customers or third-party businesses that they might do business with, or even other departments that they sometimes do business for or with on occasion. So how we base the pricing is per employee or team member, if you will. So 1 to 3 employees would be $49 per month.
Okay.
4 to 10 employees is $99 per month.
Okay, and it obviously scales up from there depending on the size of the organization. Yeah.
Exactly. So basically for every 10 thereafter is an additional 100 per month.
So basically for the $49 package, that's 1 to 3 employees would literally mean 1 to 3 people with administrative rights at some level.
Yes, so administrative rights. So whether they're labeled, you can have 3 administrators in there, 1 administrator, 2 employees. But what we classify as a team member is somebody that you'd be able to put on an automated process as somebody that's going to be pulled into that process every single time.
Right.
So basically somebody that's part of the organization. Now, a guest is obviously going to be variable. If I was coming to, for example, if I was coming to Dealer Digital here and I wanted to do social media management with them, I'm probably only going to choose that one time. So I'm labeled as a guest, and I will be that guest on there, and I still have tasks that are associated with me. But then if Sue Jones now comes to the website and does a social media management account with them, project with them, she replaces me as the guest in her project. So there's no limit to the amount of guests that a business can have within their system.
Okay. So in terms of a few sentences, what would you say would be the main reason people should check out Worksfire over the competition?
Well, the main reason that I feel is being able to automate all your processes. So being able to have a business automation or automate your business within each of your processes is, I think, the golden ticket in success. It leaves less room for error. It just streamlines the processes a lot better. And secondly, obviously the public portal and being allowed to have external people come into the system.
Right.
And working with you right away.
And obviously the flexibility of the multiple OSs, including mobile, is obviously something
exactly
pretty powerful in this. Okay, Dara.
Thank you.
Well, thanks for your time, and thank you for your overview of the Worksfire software. It's definitely something that people should check out for any project that needs managing, which all of them do, and multi-project management. So, thank you for that. and we wish and we wish Worksfire all the best in the future.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Nick.